Hello students, this is Professor Michael Farina. Welcome to Accounting 100. This is the first of 3 mandatory course orientation videos. The purpose of this video is to review the course, also to go over the course syllabus and other important documents. So you can see where I'm at. I am at the Cerritos homepage. To get to my webpage, just go /mfarina. Yeah, if I could spell my own name. There we go. And there we are. All right, so what you have here is my email address, my office hours for fall 2023. They're all 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. They're virtual, which means pretty much email. If you're watching this video in a future semester, keep in mind, of course, these days will change and other material in the syllabus, the dates only would change. The other content will be the same. If you want to know more about me, you can read this. I'll give you some brief background about myself. I am a Cerritos College graduate. I went to Cerritos College, received an AA in business, transferred to Cal State Fullerton, where I received a bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in accounting. I then went to work for Arthur Young and Company, which is now known as Ernst & Young after they merged with another firm. I was with Ernst & Young for 7 years in the audit department, left as a manager. Spent 3 years in private industry, between being a chief financial officer for a small publicly traded software company and director of internal audit for a large distribution company. I decided after 10 years of working that I'd like to go back to school. So I was accepted at the Graduate School of Business at the University of California in Irvine. While I was going there, I decided to teach in order to bring in some money. So I taught first at Golden West College in Huntington Beach, and then back to where I started at Cerritos College. I was fortunate in 1989 that a position came up to be a full-time professor, and I was selected for it. To me, it's been one of the great blessings of my life. I was a full-time professor up until June of 2018 when I retired, but I've returned as a part-time instructor. I am a CPA in the state of California. I keep my license active, and I have provided consulting services to small businesses as well as teach over the last many years. So that basically sums it up. This is all the courses I'm teaching or have taught in the past. Ours is Accounting 100 Online. So what you see here is the course orientation videos. We're doing number 1 today. You'll need to do number 2 and 3 by yourselves. Part 2 is how to register for Connect in Canvas. Connect is McGraw-Hill's homework and test management site. If you've had Pearson's MyLab or other types of things, it's similar to that, except I think it's better. And then how to use Connect to complete assignments, and that's part 3. Let's go over the syllabus briefly here. All right. What you see here are my office hours again. Course description. What we're doing here is giving you an introduction to accounting for sole proprietor businesses. That's a business owned by one person. Both service businesses like doctor, lawyer, accountant, landscaper, and merchandising companies like retail stores or distributors. It is a prerequisite to Accounting 101 and several other accounting classes. The basics here are you're going to learn to record business transaction in the accounting records, prepare what's called a trial balance and basic financial statements for both service and merchandisers, prepare bank reconciliations, compute ratios, record payroll data. I know that doesn't mean a lot to you now, but there it is. I'd like to say this about accounting and how it's different from other subjects, though. In accounting, one chapter leads to the next. Like chapter 2 is crucial to understand chapter 3, which is also crucial to understand chapter 4. So what's the key? Keeping up. The worst thing you can do is fall behind. It's not like running a 100-yard dash. This is like climbing upstairs. And if you stumble and fall on step 2 and everybody else is on step 4 and you try to jump from step 2 to step 4, you're probably going to get hurt. And I think that's an apt analogy here, especially when we're on a 15-week format, not 18-week. Now, there's no in-person meetings, Zoom, or conferences. You got to have some discipline. I think that's the key. Also, accounting, I think, is one of the more homework intense courses on the campus. So, depending on your aptitude, some people get it easily, some people don't, but they get there eventually. I'd say between 6 to 10 hours of work every week. All right, we do have a textbook. It's called College Accounting, A Contemporary Approach. We are now on the 6th edition. It's published by McGraw-Hill. At the college bookstore, there's a good deal on a bundle. The bundle includes a loose leaf textbook and an access code for Connect. Now, there's another way you can get there too. If you really don't need the loose leaf textbook and you're okay with an ebook, you can buy the ebook with the Connect code from McGraw-Hill for a cheaper price. I'm going to send an email detailing out both options later. All right, how do we earn points? I'm going to start here with the crucial things that you need to do week to week. First of all, homework. There are 10 assignments. They're worth 10 points each. Now, I dropped the lowest. And the reason I do that is because 15 weeks, even though it may seem short, is still a long time for things to happen. And I know that from personal experience. So if circumstances cause you to miss one homework assignment, it won't hurt your grade because I'm only counting 9 of them. There are 4 critical thinking problems. They're at the back of each chapter. They tend to be a little more in depth than the regular homeworks. There's 4 of them at 5 points each for 20 points. I don't drop any of those because there's only 4. There are online pre-quizzes. The purpose of those is to prepare you for the quiz. There's 10 of those. The lowest is dropped. They're 5 points each, and so 45 points there. Then there's the quizzes that count, really for more points. There's 11 of them. There's a chapter 1 quiz, which I will do I'll actually take it for you in course orientation number 3. Then there are 10 others. So with dropping the lowest of the other 10, that's 190 points. Now, then there's something called student learning outcome assessments. This is mandatory by our accounting department, and there's 2 of those worth 25 points. Now, see, if you keep up with this, then when it comes to taking the midterm exam or the final, you won't have to cram. It'll just be study, and I have study sheets for both those. The midterm is for chapters 1 to 6. It's primarily problem solving from scratch, but the problems will be very similar to what's on your homework. The final exam is somewhat comprehensive. However, I'll tell you, it's mostly chapters 7 to 13. That's a mixture of problem solving from scratch as well as multiple choice true-false questions. As far as your final grade, 90% of the points, and again, there's 620 possible, 90% of that will get you an A, 80% a B, 67 a C. I go down to 67 instead of the traditional 70 because I believe accounting is more difficult than other courses on campus. Hopefully there's nothing less than 67, but there is the scale for D's and F's. Now, I have a couple of things to help you out. There's the recorded lectures inside Connect, or there's lecture notes. Let's start with the lecture notes. Those are Word documents that I have created. The intent there is to give you the big picture overview of the chapter. Also included there are links to step-by-step solutions of exercises pertaining to the material in that chapter. These are on my website, and they're not in Connect, and you can open it up and do them as many times as you wish. Now, what I did inside Connect is to take these same lecture notes and I gave a voiceover to do a recorded lecture. It's the same information. It's the same step-by-step solutions, except this is my voice. Now, you can do either one. I hope you do one of the two, because I think they'll really help you. Some people like the recorded lectures because they like hearing somebody walk them through, speak them through the Word document. Other people prefer the lecture notes. Maybe they don't like my voice, something like that, or I go too fast or too slow for them, or they want to take their time. I don't know. But do one of the two. Okay, homework is exactly what it sounds like. In course orientation video number 3, I'll show you an example of the homework. And the due dates are firm. Okay, your lowest score will be dropped. Yes. Critical thinking problems, we've talked about those. The pre-quizzes basically are like the quizzes, except for one big difference. There's no time limit, and you have 2 attempts. Now, how's that different than the pre-quiz, than the real quiz? The real quiz, first of all, is 20 questions, multiple choice or true false, and it's timed. 80 minutes for each quiz. The midterm and finals are exactly as I have described them earlier. There are review sheets for those, and make sure you take a look at the review sheets before taking the midterm and final. So, to sum it up, the homework, critical thinking problem, and pre-quizzes don't have to be completed at one setting. Now, what if you're on the homework, say, and you have to leave? Does that mean you got to start over the next time around? No, you're able to save and exit out of Connect, and that way when you come back to it, it'll start you off exactly where you left off. However, quizzes, midterm exam, final, one sitting, start and finish in one sitting. The student learning outcomes assessment, again, is a requirement. It's basically just more homework problems from the chapter. Now, here's your extra credit. SmartBook. SmartBook is a great adaptive learning system. What that means is it will ask you questions about the material in the chapter. Depending on how you answer those, it will return you to a more remedial setting, or it'll advance you to the next topic. Now, there's 9 of these available. Not every chapter. I haven't assigned one for each chapter. Again, the SmartBook assignments are optional. However, each one is worth 2 extra credit points. So let's say you do all 9 of them and you score 2 points each. That's 18 extra credit points, which is almost 3% of your grade. And again, with these, you could save and exit as often as you like. All right, I'm going to ask you all to do a couple of things for me. Student responsibilities. For most of my life, I taught on ground. Online's a fairly recent thing in the scheme of my career. And in the on-ground classes, in case you've never taken one, any student who doesn't show the first day gets dropped from the class, and their seat is given to somebody on the wait list. Now, we have no assigned meeting time. So the only way I can know that you're really into the class is by giving you something to do that will help you anyway, and then asking you to email me saying that you've done it. So here's the deal. What am I going to ask you to do? Listen to all 3 course orientation videos. We're actually listening to the first one now. Read the course syllabus. We're actually doing that now as we go through this video. So I want you to tell me you've done that, you've understood them all, and to put that in an email and send it to me no later than Monday, September 11th by 5 p.m. That's a whole week from the time the class starts to listen to 3 orientation videos, read the syllabus, and send me an email saying that you've done so and you understand them. If you don't do that, then I'm going to assume that you're really not interested in the class and you will get dropped. Okay. Again, the key, what's the key? Don't fall behind. Now, also, how do I know that you're really doing the work during the term and keeping up? All right. So here's the other policy statement. If you've not completed 3 assignments in Connect, you will be dropped. Also, because it's so important to get a good start in the class, everybody has to complete the first assignments, Chapter 1 and Course Orientation Quiz, Chapter 2 Homework, and Chapter 2 Quiz, or else you'll get dropped from the class too. Now, what about, well, I can't get the book yet. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not an excuse. And as you'll see in course orientation video number 2, McGraw-Hill gives you some time as a free access. Now, if you need to drop, I hope you don't. The last day to drop with a grade of W is November 17th. All right, I'm going to let you read most of the policy statements. I just want to highlight a couple of things. Let's say you have a friend or family member taking this class with you. Feel free to work together on the homeworks. However, people on the quizzes, the midterm, or the final, that's you and you alone. I don't expect to see this in the second paragraph, but please do read it. And lastly, do I check my emails? Yes, I do. I check it every day, Monday through Friday, at least once, usually 2 or 3 times. I sometimes also check them on Saturday if an important assignment's coming up Monday. Now, you'll get an answer from me at least within 24 hours, usually sooner. Now, what I'd like you to do is in the subject area of your email, you got to put your name and your class number. Your class number is this. Otherwise, if I see some email address that bears no resemblance to your name, which is common, then I'm not going to know who you are, and I'll just move on to something else. Now, I do stop checking my email at 7 p.m. This is a sheet showing you the activities that are worth points in the class and when they're due. So, for example, as we mentioned, Chapter 1, there is no homework. There's no numbers in that chapter. There is a 10-question quiz that's due by, and again, this is the fall 2023 semester, by September 11th. The Chapter 2 assignments, you can see there's 2 problems, Problem 2-2A, Problem 2.4A. Homework, there's 10 points there. There's a 20-point quiz, and that is also due 9/11. And you'll notice all of the assignments have an 11:59 p.m. cutoff. What happens at 11:59 is that if you're not done, it'll just go dark. The screen will go dark, and you're going to get whatever points you've earned at that time. Okay. Lecture notes we'll go through. Here is another link to course orientation video number 2. I'd only add one other thing, please, and that is use your enrolled name at Cerritos as your enrolled name in Connect. For example, if your enrolled name at Cerritos is Juarez Maria D, use that exact same name in Connect. Don't sign into Connect as Maria Juarez. Because what will happen is when I download scores from Connect into my grade sheet, it won't be in the same order and it will be a mess. So please do that. I think after watching course orientation video number 2 and 3, you'll have a very good idea about how to access Connect to do your homework, your critical thinking problems, and your quiz. But in case you need more written instructions, they are here. Just real quick, for the quizzes, the midterm and the final, we'll use Proctorio. It's a browser locking software. You probably should use Chrome with it. Here's a link to Chrome in case you don't have it. Also, if you are doing an assignment and you're having problems with Connect, I do appreciate getting email, but usually it's nothing that I can solve. It's a technical issue. The Connect people are usually pretty good, and they're Monday to Thursday, 24/7. and Saturday, Sunday, and here's their phone number. Okay. What's the keys to succeed in this class? Here's what I think they are. Now I'm going to add one verbally that's not here. And that is, don't wait till the last minute to start the assignments. Most of them are due Monday night at 11:59. If you start it at Monday at 9 p.m., chances are you're not going to do very well. Because I've seen so many things that happen. If you start at the last minute, there's like 20 of them, and 19 of them are bad. For example, I had problems with Connect. I had internet problems. My babysitter didn't show up. I had to work late. I've heard them all. And I'm sorry, but you have a week to do these assignments, and they're either done on time or they're not. So don't wait till the last minute. Now, as far as the work goes, first thing I would do is listen to the recorded lectures or read the lecture notes first. Get a big picture overview. Then read the chapter. Then, if there's a smart book assignment on Connect for the chapter, do it. Then do your homework. Then take the pre-quiz. Then take the 20-question chapter quiz. And yes, everything is open book, open notes. For the midterm and final, they're a little different, and so for those, we will have instructions in the study guide for you. On the last page of the syllabus, we have listed the student learning outcomes for the class. There's 5 of them, and there you go. Okay, that's the syllabus. Let's go back to the website. I'll show you something with the lecture notes, but before I do, here's the review sheet for the midterm, review sheet for the final. Now you'll see quite a few things on our websites are either in Word or Excel. If you don't have Microsoft Office, guess what? You can get it free. There's your link. I think all you'll need to do is give them your email address. All right, let's go to the lecture notes. I'm going to pick chapter 2. And hopefully this will work, or otherwise I'll be really embarrassed. All right, what the lecture notes are is something I've written that gives an overview of the chapter. In other words, kind of the big picture view, so that when you read the chapter, it'll make more sense. Now, one of the things we like to talk about in accounting is to get students started off, and again, this is chapter 2, is a fundamental accounting equation. Now, I don't expect you to understand this just from this orientation video, so I'll just give you an overview. Assets are things the company owns, like cash and equipment. Liabilities are what's owed to other companies. It could be I bought goods on credit. It could be I borrowed money from the bank and I owe the bank money. Those are called liabilities. And owner's equity is the owner's standing in the firm. So, for example, in my little example here, if assets are $20,000 and liabilities are $10,000, how much is owner's equity? Well, I take my assets minus my liabilities, and I'd get $8,000. Now, I often include little things like that, but here is something a little bit better. These are videos done by McGraw-Hill that shows a professional accounting person, in fact, she's a community college professor in New York, using software to solve a problem. So let's hope this works.
Just before Anderson Laboratories opened for business, Roy Anderson, the owner, had the following assets and liabilities. Determine the totals that would appear in the firm's fundamental accounting equation: assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. Assets are things of value owned by the company. Cash, laboratory equipment, and laboratory supplies are all assets. Liabilities are debts or obligations of the company. Whenever you see the word payable, it always indicates a liability. Loans payable and accounts payable are both liabilities. Anderson Labs has total assets of $119,600. total liabilities of $23,600. So to solve for the amount of owner's equity, we take total assets, $119,600, subtract the total liabilities, $23,600. Total owner's equity is $96,000. Owner's equity is synonymous with net worth. If you had $119,600 in personal assets, but total
I think
bills
you
of
can get the point of that.
$23,600,
You exit
your net
out from it, and that will conclude today's video. Thank you for listening to course orientation video number 1. And next you should look at course orientation video number 2. Thank you.